Today, we are going to give you the top five in Epcot, that is. This is episode 395, and we're going to discuss all the things that we love about Epcot.
We're bringing it back to the old days.
Bringing it back.
We started this podcast a very long time ago, and we did top fives, top tens. And, 7 years ago in Disney years is like 100 years ago.
It's true. Things are changing constantly. Epcot's still changing, by the way. So this episode is coming out to you in 2023. Maybe we'll have something different in 2024. We don't know.
Well, a lot has changed in Epcot. We got Guardians of the Galaxy now. We got Ratatouille now. There's so much different things that there are now that there weren't back in 2016 or 15 when we did this podcast originally.
For sure.
So we don't necessarily always repeat shows, but sometimes you need to update the past podcasts because they're not relevant anymore.
I call this top five, but I think because we're both going to have our own kind of opinions, which, by the way, speaking of that, whenever we post on our social media accounts, sometimes lately you've been doing this thing where you write, one versus the other, suggesting that like an attraction is better than the other. But I think it should come with a disclaimer stating who it is that's doing the posting, because I don't always agree with you.
Maybe we should. Yeah, maybe since we both do postings on social media, we should make a disclaimer like B or K.
Are you Team Tonga or are you Team Talks?
Who was it that posted this? Because I think what you're referring to is I said Festival of the Arts over Food and Wine. It's greater than Food and Wine.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
Somebody said something so funny on Facebook. They said, they named a food. It was like churros in Disneyland is greater than all festivals in Epcot. It was like one specific thing was greater than every festival they have in Epcot.
Oh my gosh.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Super funny. But anyway, this is probably going to turn into top 10, maybe even what's so great about Epcot, because I like this park so much that I want to do some heavy convincing to those that are on the fence. Believe it or not, there are some people out there that still don't think that this is either a full day park to bring children or just a great park in general. So I have some work to do.
Well, there is still construction going on, but once that's complete, we may have to redo this again when it's completed. But since Guardians is added, Ratatouille, it's time to throw in some things. I do think that this is two separate parks to me. It's an entertainment part and a food part. And I've segmented my list into segments. So one of my segments,
segmented them into segments. Okay.
Yeah, one of mine could be multiple things.
Sure.
Because if I did list it out individually, it would have 100 here. It would take a 4-hour podcast. By the way, you should check us out at Club UTM. If you're listening to this podcast when it comes out Friday, we're having movie night tonight.
Friday movie night, which is so much fun I love just hanging out and watching a movie, but what I really love doing is being able to chat with everybody while the movie's playing, but also I like to spit out some movie facts.
Those are interesting. I like your movie facts.
Filming facts, just fun.
It makes it, especially if you've seen the movie multiple times, it's fun to hang out with people and talk and chat about scenes that are going on or what people think of those scenes or even like the facts that you throw out. It's fun. So clubutm.co, if you want to join us inside of Club UTM, stickers will be going out for those members already. Next week
we have some cool stickers. We just got some new batch about Tonga toast, I think.
Yeah, and we also have shout outs will be going out next week. So if you want to join us in Club UTM, clubutm.co.
Okay. And we also have something coming up soon too. We have Halloween on the High Seas.
That's right.
So excited.
We just watched a couple videos of this Halloween cruise, and I do have to say the magic ship.
The OG.
Looks little.
It's small. It's the smaller ships, but there is some additional bonuses when it comes to that, even though it might not seem like it from the outside looking in. When you get to Castaway Cay, there's less people on the boat, so there's less people on the island. Like, there's just a lot of benefits that maybe you wouldn't think of when you see a smaller. It's not a very small ship, but it's just smaller compared to something like the Dream or the Wish. But I'm really excited because there's a costume party. There's some costume contests. I just can't believe I convinced Bruce, who doesn't necessarily love Halloween the way I do, to go on this.
I can't believe you convinced me either. On a cruise, on Halloween. But listen, I'm going to go. I always say you can't determine if you like something once. A restaurant, they could have a bad day. It could be a bad experience, and then you go back and you're like, you know what? It happened to us with Disney.
That's true.
So you have to give it another shot.
I'll
let you know what I think about cruises for real after my second cruise. I'm looking forward to this one. I like that you said less people on Castaway Key.
It's going to be fun. And I saw like people were Castaway Key. I like how they decorated the doors. Like you could bring just do a bunch of stuff for Halloween and just make it really spooky and special on the windows of the portholes. They have pumpkins. So it's like illuminates with a glow of pumpkin. I'm just really excited.
All right. So if you want to come with us, you can. unlockingthemagic.com/cruise.
Yes.
If you're listening to this in the future, if we have any cruises planned with UTM, this link will just go there. So if you're listening to this a couple years from now and you hear it and you're like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
If we have a cruise coming up, that link will bring you right there. And it also brings you there for this cruise if you want to join us. Right now is a good time to buy tickets to this one because it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. So act now. But I'm excited because I don't necessarily think you have to be super into Halloween to enjoy this, but it's just an added bonus and benefit of going. But if you want to join us, please reach out to the UTM travel team because that's where the links are for you to book with us. Otherwise, it kind of gets lost in the translation.
Why would you not book with us?
What's going on?
Unlocking the Magic Travels.
It doesn't cost anything.
The best ever.
Yeah.
We just had a meeting with our team, and we have the best. We have the best team.
We do. Really.
We're very lucky for all our agents and team members inside of Unlocking the Magic Travel. It's a business version of the podcast and Club UTM.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Super fun. Well, Epcot to me is just so much fun for all ages. The rides, the aquarium.
That's not really, you can't say that though, because you literally said you like just staring at the ground in Epcot.
Well, I did. Okay. Yeah. Full disclosure here. There's not a whole lot that impresses me, but Epcot in particular, it does speak to my childhood. It definitely gave me that nostalgia feel back. It still gives me that nostalgia. I like the direction Epcot is going now because I think for a minute it might have been losing that. But the meet and greets, the food, Figment, best of all.
You do like Figment.
Figment. It is
right behind you in the popcorn bucket there if you're watching this video on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Hi, Figgy. I just love Epcot for all the reasons. And to me, back to the philosophy of Epcot, it's a park dedicated to big ideas that inspire potential, possibility, and beyond all, hope.
I thought you were going to say food.
And food. And beyond, we should just make that into the
That should
slogan.
be our slogan for Epcot.
Okay.
What did you say the first two parts were?
Okay, I'm going to start over, okay? But I'm going to use our flair. Or your flair, actually. Epcot, a park dedicated to big ideas that inspire potential, possibility, and beyond,
food.
And beyond all. You cut me off.
Sorry. And food.
It would have been so dramatic and perfect.
If I should have waited for the pause there.
Just a second. And beyond all, food.
Snacks.
So much fun. I wish that more people would give Epcot a chance. To me, it's also an incredible place because not only do you have all the incredible cultures, the World Showcase, you have all the rides. It is like two parks in one, but you also have opportunities where if you do have young kids or even teens, there's so many places where you can go to kind of do kind of like your own little
homeschooling thing? Not away from home?
You always laugh how I like to educate around the...
that's a benefit to going to Epcot is that there is living with the land, Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
Guardians, Cosmic... Oh, you can't really learn that much there, but you do learn about...
Listen, you're an astronaut.
The universe.
You're on... Yeah, exactly. But let's get into it. Top five-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, top five-ish.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I just said it. My number one thing, the best thing to do at Epcot, better than the food.
That's saying a whole lot right there.
It is.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Which I just want to name it Cosmic Rewind just so that I don't confuse it with Guardians in California Adventure.
True.
But you're right. It's the first ever reverse launch intergalactic chase on a Disney coaster that also rotates 360 degrees. The G-Force makes you a legit astronaut on this, I think.
It definitely does. We went on with Dan, a.k.a. Jarvis.
Yeah.
And there was he was sitting with this kid. Was he sitting with the kid?
Yes.
And the kid was freaking out, but with excitement. And it was the best. They were sitting behind us and I could hear the kid talking. And it was Dan, and a kid. And it was just so fun to hear the kid's excitement in the way that he experienced the attraction. And he didn't even care there was a stranger sitting next to him.
Oh, no, he was having the best time of his life. I actually had a different experience. One time I went on, and I mean, we've been really blessed to be able to ride it multiple times, but there was a mom and her child, and the mom was having I forget what song was playing during that particular time, but she was singing. And the kid was like freaking out, and she's like, "It's okay, it's almost over." And she's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, the mom did not care that the daughter was very legit scared.
It was just so funny because I just got off laughing, and thankfully the child did too. And it was just a good amount of fun. But you can go on this, and I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but maybe I will. I think it's worth just the price of admission. This particular ride is
worth the lightning lane.
It's
like to actually pay to go on it.
It's worth the admission to Epcot.
And I don't know. There's not a lot of rides or attractions that I would want to pay extra money to go on with that lightning lane.
Yeah.
This may be one. So when I first went on this, we recently went on Velocicoaster and Hagrid's.
Yeah.
And I put a poll out there. And this was before Guardians opened. Mm-hmm. And then it opened, and there was, a soft opening with cast and media previews. And I said, you know what? Which is the best coaster in Orlando? And to me, it was no doubt Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way that Guardians can be even close to Velocicoaster.
Right.
And I went on Guardians, and I said, you know what? It's pretty dang close to Velocicoaster.
It's
definitely, it's not as scary.
Sure.
But it's as thrilling in its own way, and it immerses you a little bit more than Velocicoaster does.
Right.
And I think it's got to be one of the best rides I've ever been on.
Is it me though, or is did the Disney team didn't do the greatest job marketing this ride, and like the pictures don't look that great. Like you look like you're having fun on the pictures. Don't get me wrong, the pictures that they take on PhotoPass, but it doesn't look like it doesn't do its justice. Like,
well, there's only a certain amount of places that it can take your picture where you're not freaking out.
I guess that's true.
Because no one would buy the pictures where they're just in total chaos going through the ride. So there's only a limited area.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people would maybe do it once, but not multiple times.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like when you're on what used to be Splash Mountain where you could set it up, or Space Mountain where you could, or even Tower of Terror where you're like, all right, this is what we're going to do for this photo.
Yeah.
On Guardians, you are hanging on for dear life.
But it doesn't look like that in the photo. That's what I'm saying. Is it?
That's because you just got done you're just a hot mess.
Was that on purpose? Did they make it so it's like, oh, it's a gentle ride through the galaxy to get people to kind of give it a chance? Because maybe if you said, because Disney isn't really known for scary. I don't want to call it scary, but like really intense.
Thrilling.
Well, I think they're up there with thrilling.
No, they're more immersive than they are thrilling.
Like, I don't think they're as intense as this ride is at times, right? So, like, for example, Expedition Everest, that coaster is pretty thrilling, but this is intense.
This has just got so much going on.
Yeah.
Your senses are on overload between
the
audio, the visual, the spinning, the fast, the speed. It's got everything. Like, all of your senses, other than taste, are being utilized on this attraction. And it's a little bit overwhelming. I'm sure for some it's a lot overwhelming.
Yeah.
Especially your first time when you don't really know. There's never been a roller coaster or an attraction in Disney like this. Yeah. So you don't really know what to expect when you go on. And the videos don't give it justice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it never really sold me on like when it first opened. We weren't there. We weren't in Florida yet. And I remember other people going on, and I didn't feel the need. I'm always jealous, but I wasn't really super bummed out. I was like, you know what? We'll ride it when we can, and it's fine. But now, looking back, I'm like, darn, I really wish we really did. Like, what is going on here?
All right, this is turning into a Guardians of the Galaxy podcast. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Mine is Space 220, but I would say an asterisk, I have the word lounge on there because I don't think you necessarily have to go to the restaurant part to actually enjoy this really unique experience. It's a lounge at the Centauri Space Station, which is just a mere 220 miles above planet Earth.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. It overlooks the main dining room and provides you with that same space and astronaut feel like you would, but not spending as much money as the restaurant sit-down meal itself. So you can enjoy really stellar views, but smaller bites.
We've heard from people too that the lounge they prefer over the restaurant. The restaurant was a little expensive, and it was more of a one and done kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think this particular spot isn't the one and done. The lounge part of it, I think it's easier, it's more wallet friendly. I kind of almost wish they did this more. Like I don't know if, I guess it's cool if they have a sit down restaurant, but I almost want this to just continue to be a really cool lounge because it's affordable and you still get that.
It's a step up from quick service. But it's not the full blown sit down restaurant. It's almost that happy medium where it's a little bit more than a quick service, and they have themed quick service.
A little more than quick service. Where are you going to get quick service 220 miles above planet Earth?
Not a lot of places, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love that they offer this, and it's a good way to experience being an astronaut and enjoying the amazing views and being part of this without actually having to shell out quite a bit. If you have the means and you want to do the dinner, full-blown dinner, awesome. But I just think for the most part, you don't necessarily have to.
I love it.
Okay.
Night number 2
we moved on that one really fast.
Well, I think you summed it up pretty nicely.
Okay.
It's giving you some credit there.
Thanks.
My number 2 is food.
Food.
That's it. In general, food.
Top
the food
5, yeah.
at Epcot is.
I mean,
yeah. I'm trying to think of all the food. It's definitely the best food at any Disney park in Orlando.
Oh, 110%.
And some of my favorites are. Can I list some of my favorite things to eat?
I'll give you permission.
Thank you, because it wasn't. I couldn't. If I did all my favorites, it would have been all. It would have been it. I would have been done. My list would have been over.
That's true. I mean, it is our slogan now.
What is that?
The Epcot slogan.
Well, our Club UTM logo says Club UTM. I'm just here for the snacks.
See what I mean?
Like, that's all we are here for.
That's true.
Pizza. People ask me all the time.
Yeah.
So I am a pizza connoisseur.
Right.
Like, I know good pizza.
Yeah, you are.
Pizza connoisseur, snob. Like, if you put connoisseur and snob together, a little bit of me.
I didn't say it. You did.
But I'll admit it.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah.
So Via Napoli, probably one of the better places to get pizza on Disney. Now, listen, I am not saying it's going to be the best pizza you're ever going to have in your life.
For sure.
But if you're on Disney, options are limited.
It's good pizza, and it's good atmosphere, and it's got that comfort feeling where you're like, sometimes you're eating so many different things and flavors that you really just want something that is familiar to you.
If you eat pizza,
yeah,
in 45 minutes after you eat it, you can still taste the flavor in your mouth. That was not good pizza.
Good quality pizza, that is.
So this Via Napoli has light, good quality pizza that you can eat and then go walk around and not feel too full.
Okay.
So that's my first one.
All right. That was a long, by the way, long answer.
It's pizza. It's me. I have to make that one the longest.
All right, got it.
Next one, Katsura Grill, Japan.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to kind of sit up in the, if you walk up the steps, they have
Garden.
the seating area. It never seems to be overly crowded there. You get a little sushi, a little bowl of noodles.
It's just really relaxing. There's something about like the koi pond and just the whole atmosphere in general.
It needs to be closer to Guardians Cosmic Rewind because it's the perfect area to go on Cosmic Rewind, lose your mind a little bit, and then like go meditate. And and like sit in zen of the Japan garden and see the bonsai trees and just get a bowl of noodles and kind of bring yourself back to this universe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's my number 2.
A little nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Definitely. I agree with you.
Go maybe get a canned coffee in the Japan store, a little bowl of noodles. You're all set to go.
Some hydration with the noodles and the bowl of miso.
People give us a lot of flack for saying chimichanga. Okay?
Okay. I don't.
Even though
anyways,
a couple top chefs say it. Chimichanga. I think you're supposed to say chimichanga.
Chimichanga. I say it both ways now. I'm potato.
It depends on who I'm around.
Okay.
This place, I'm probably going to butcher the name.
Oh, God.
Just giving you a little heads up there.
Thank you for that.
La Cantina de San Angel.
Okay, whatever.
In the Mexico Pavilion.
Sure.
Another quick service place that I really enjoy.
So good. The empanadas are so good. Like, I really get my mouth waters when I think about it.
I don't know what it is about the empanadas and the nachos. The nachos are not overly sophisticated or fancy, but it's a bowl of nachos with some canned orange cheese.
It's good,
some meat on there, and it just tastes good.
It's more authentic tasting, and I just wish it was a little less known because it's just so crowded over there. Sometimes it's hard.
They just need to expand the seating area a little bit. I know that's going to be hard, but they need to have either more tables or more area, because it is a popular place, and a lot of people do go left when they hit the World Showcase. So it's kind of the first place you get to hit for food.
And it's good.
And it's a good place.
Yeah.
Maybe they should move it. They should put a less popular spot in there, although I don't know which one's less popular. But anyway, those are my 3 go-tos for quick service at
so you just
Epcot.
Generalize food as your top. I hear you.
It goes, for me, it goes Guardians, food.
Yeah.
My list is over.
Yeah, right. It's all you literally could have to do at Epcot for it to be a great day.
Everything else is kind of like, I guess it has to go on the list because I have to fill the list up, but those are the 2 things I enjoy.
Okay, my next one is caramel kuche. It's actually...
Say what now?
That's how you pronounce it. It's supposed to pronounce it. But it's in Germany, and actually the phrase is actually German for caramel cake. But you guessed it, it's the spot where you can get all things caramel. And I dare you to walk by. Just get really close to the building, walk by, and not go inside. I dare you.
It does smell delicious.
It is heavenly, and here you'll find the iconic Werther's caramel and their popcorn, where you can enjoy their fresh caramel popcorn. It's warm and fresh, and even someone like me who's really not supposed to eat corn, I have a hard time walking past here without getting it. I love it. But even if you can't do much corn product, there's still plenty of chewy caramel goodness and sweets. Pecan clusters with caramel, roasted pecans. Their slogan is caramel literally covers everything.
You know what they need there? They need to, I know they have those giant pretzels in the Germany pavilion. Mm-hmm. Whoever makes the ones for Pim Test Kitchen needs to bring those ones over here because they're the same pretzel.
Because that would get bumped off one thing on your list, and that would have been added.
Bumped off? No way. It'd be added to it.
Oh no! I said one thing would have been bumped off.
No, and I'm telling you, no.
Okay,
you can't bump any of those off, but it would have been in addition to.
Caramel, back to caramel.
Sorry.
We'll go back to pretzels later, but caramel, my mom loves Werther's. I usually always stop here. It's like really fun because not only can you grab something really delicious, and I mean, who doesn't like caramel? I mean, your teeth maybe a dentist doesn't like caramel.
You know what? See, that's the thing. I like caramel, but it's like a job.
It's a lot of work.
Eating caramel is like a part-time job.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta go through the whole process of eating it. It's difficult.
It's very worth it to me. And what I like about this place is that also you can enjoy something fresh right there. And it's a great place to grab some souvenirs. So my mom, I always get her a bag of candies, and I just really, I love it. That's always on my list.
I'll be getting although the pretzels are pretty stale there.
Okay.
But I'll still buy one.
Keep moving on.
All right, next one. Okay. For me, again, this is like where I kind of bundled a couple things together. This is like the bundle.
Sure.
I'm a bundler. The Land Pavilion.
That's a bundle and a half.
The whole pavilion.
Okay.
As one.
Mm-hmm.
Living with the Land, Soarin', Garden Grill, the quick service place, all of it together I enjoy very much so.
Which surprises me because that is kind of like the throwback to original days of Epcot, which you didn't get to experience like I did as a kid. So you don't have those nostalgic memories like I do. But you still like that pavilion.
Well, just because I didn't go to Epcot when I was younger doesn't mean I didn't grow up in that era.
True. I guess that's true.
So I still enjoy that style and era of time. It just so happens that I didn't get to go to Epcot. I was poor. I didn't get to go to Disney when I was young, so I have to relive it as an adult.
I really love it here for the main reason. The living with the land there is, I know that it's like a corny attraction, and like people say, well, you know, the line can be long, and then really it's
people say it's corny.
Yeah, for sure. But
who are those people?
I no longer speak with those people.
Thank you.
Just kidding. But to me, there's just a very great blend in that area of old and new.
Yeah.
So it's got that old world, kind of like that 80s feeling, but then also there's a step in the future in there. And I love it. That's one of my favorite places too.
You know, people often say to us too, you have to do the behind the scenes tour, which we've yet to do, which is on our list to do.
Behind the scenes. Oh yeah.
That's what I said.
I thought she said seats.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes of the seeds.
Yeah.
That's something that people say we have to check out.
I know one of our kids loves gardening, and I know that every time we go in there that she has, it's almost like that thing now where like they're teens, so they don't really necessarily want to say it's super fun and cool.
Yeah.
Or they're interested. You know, I think that a lot of times they'll say, or they'll mention on their own podcast, like they'll skip it. and they'll go on just for me or you, but they like it. I hope they can admit it soon.
That's kind of how I go on Spaceship Earth sometimes with you.
Oh, right.
Like, I like Spaceship Earth, don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
But you could go on there 7 times in a row.
Is there something wrong with that?
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm not judging you at all.
Okay.
But there is something about the vegetables and fruits that are growing that I'm fascinated with. I don't know what it is. It's literally just a garden. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with seeing the fruits and vegetables and seeing which ones are there.
Because
that
it's
they're growing.
An epic greenhouse.
It's cool. I don't know.
Disney.
It's just cool.
I think that it's futuristic as well. So it's kind of got that, traditional of how you grow plants, but then also they're evolving in the future of kind of like showing you how you're going to live in Mars someday, maybe.
I mean, they did on that movie, The Martian. The guy did grow potatoes up there.
See, it can be done.
So it did kind of look like that too. It was a greenhouse with just dirt,
right,
and things growing up. So I don't know. I like it.
Were they filming in?
They might have filmed there.
We need to find
Where
out.
was that filming location? So that's my third one, is the Land Pavilion as a whole. Sometimes it does get crowded and busy, and if you are a person like me who is an introverted person, you walk in that door sometimes, and because you walk in the door and you have to go around to the other side to get down the stairs, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, I see that your sensory kind of signals.
Like, my first reaction is when it's real busy is to just go back to where I came from.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to push through.
Push through. It's worth it.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah. I'm excited that you like it, to be honest with you.
I like it.
It's like, it makes me really happy inside.
Why would I not?
I know that you mentioned it, but I guess I have to say, I can't do a top 5 list of Epcot without saying Spaceship Earth. Like, I cannot do it.
It was on my list too, so I'm not gonna say it's not on my list. And I'm not saying it's not great. I'm just saying that you could go to Epcot and the only thing you do is ride Spaceship Earth, and you'd be totally fine with that.
It's corny, yes. I think it is a little bit. Like, I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna admit it. But you know what? That's some of the things that Walt Disney said of himself. Like, he's a little bit like. It's okay to be like,
I don't think it is corny. I think it is like when you think of like a traditionalist.
Yeah.
This is basic and traditional.
Okay.
That's what Walt Disney was.
Or old. Maybe
old is the word.
Is it thrilling? No, but it's iconic, and that's why it always lands on my list. And it is something that I have to do both during the early day of my day in Epcot, and the nighttime. I like to end the night. Everybody knows this of my family. Got to end the night at Epcot. I got to end the night at Spaceship Earth. It's just, to me, you travel through time, and it's got so much of that satisfaction of seeing like where we came from, and where we're going. And to me, that's exciting.
I'm just glad you can't see out when you're inside, because you are pretty high up if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
That would scare me.
It is pretty. That geodesic dome is pretty big.
Like, when it's time to go back to the beginning and they turned you around and you're going backwards, like, you're pretty high up there at the top.
Yeah.
And for a person like me who doesn't love heights, thinking about that sometimes gets my palms a little sweaty.
Just going backwards for me, like the time machine that you're in, it's kind of like, there's no belt or anything. Not that it's needed, but it's like slippery kind of. And when you're going backwards, it kind of always freaks me out a little bit, but worth it. 16 minutes. Some might take a nap in there. I don't care. I love it. And I'm continuing to love it. I hope it never changes, because I think that it has a lot going for it. Maybe a couple more new scenes would be cool.
You know what this is? This is a good ride to go on. And it's one of those ones that you can close your eyes and still listen.
That's true.
And not have to see it. So if you do want to take a rest, you can just close your eyes. It's almost like you're sitting there. You get to relax for 16 minutes. And the voices are very soothing. That tells you the story of the history of time as you go through it. So to me, you don't need to see it. You could just sit there with your eyes closed and just listen.
That's true.
Whereas living with the land,
is that basically what you say you do most of the time?
I think I just admitted that. Sometimes, listen, I've been on it a lot. I don't need to see everything.
I do, because it's like a movie. It's like sometimes you pick out things that you didn't notice before.
Agreed.
So that's why I like it.
Sometimes it's the 8th time you made me go on it. I'm a little tired.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
Close my eyes, take a little nap, and just listen.
It's fair.
All right.
Okay.
Next one for me.
Yeah.
I did have Spaceship Earth on mine as my number 5.
Just to satisfy me?
No, I do like it. It's when you think of Epcot, you think of that.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It's the centerpiece of the park, and it sets, to me, the tone of the entire day.
So this might shock some people.
Should I pause for a minute?
No.
Get a snack?
You don't need to get your sensor button ready either. It's going to be all set. Mine is.
Is that an option? I don't think I have a sensor.
I have a dump button.
Yeah.
I got one of those.
Oh, man. I need one on my side.
You do need one. The whole show would be dumped. I wouldn't be able to say anything. I like festivals at Epcot.
Okay.
Minus food and wine. Food and wine could go away and I'll never forever, and I wouldn't be sad.
Okay.
But Festival of the Arts in the Flower and Garden Festival, I love.
That's a great thing that Epcot does so well too. It's part of your, mission ticket. It's fun. It gives it.
It's the only two festivals to me that fit with Epcot. Food and wine doesn't fit.
It's because of Figment.
I think like if you think about what Epcot is and what Disney is, it's about art and it's about history and it's about learning. In Festival of the Arts, it makes kids feel free to express their artistic part.
Mm-hmm. And adults.
In Flower and Garden, same thing. It's like, all right, you get to learn about flowers and the different types of environments. And to me, those fit with what Epcot is.
Yeah. The philosophy of Epcot.
Food and wine has turned into something else that I just don't think fits anymore.
Well, it's a bunch of snacks, which fits, and it's fun. I think food and wine, which I did get you to do a couple times in the last year, which I'm shocked about.
Once you tricked me.
I think if you do, I think you do like it. If you do, it can't be. It's like there has to be kind of limits. A situation where it's not nighttime. It's
what it is. I think that even the Festival of the Arts and Flower and Garden bring those booths out that are available during food and wine. So you don't need food and wine anymore. It could be something totally different. They should make it a different festival where it's like you still food booths where you can enjoy some cuisine. That's always good. That's what you go to Epcot for.
So good.
But bring some other aspect of creativity or arts or something that isn't just a party atmosphere.
Well, I love the festivals. I love all the festivals. And particularly my top is always going to be the Festival of the Arts. I think that one is everything I want Epcot to be. It's got my favorite character, Figment, plastered everywhere. It celebrates him, and it has just so much fun and unique kind of feeling where you don't get in any other Disney park.
No.
So that's why I love it.
You don't get it in the size that it has at Epcot. Like you get certain points in other, especially in Disneyland, you get that feeling in certain parts of Disneyland, but not throughout the whole park.
Not throughout the whole park. And like you said, it kind of brings out your creative side. It shows kids and adults to be able to express themselves and to show them that's just like whole world out there. Go get them. Yeah, that's kind of how Epcot makes me feel.
That's what kids need. The kids need to be okay with the fact that, listen, you can do anything.
Right.
And I think that those Epcots do a good job of being like, you know what, you can make a living out of writing pictures.
Yeah. And seriously, kids, but also adults. Like I do know there's just so many times where you're feeling like you're in a rut or whatever. Sometimes you need that.
Are you talking right to me?
Well, that's kind of how this started.
It is February.
It is how this started here, this little podcast here that we've been doing. It was all because we saw this just place where you really anything is possible.
It's amazing that so many adults wait so long to go, and that's what you look forward to in your year.
Right.
I like that.
All right. Well, I can't believe that this next one, I put it on my top 5, even though just Figment itself, the character Figment, is always on my top 5. Yes, he has a whole attraction based on him, but it's not I don't love it as much as the original one, so I kind of felt weird about sharing that one as the top. But I can't believe one thing that's in Epcot that's free, that is not on your list. It's included with your ticket. It's free. You got to go thirsty.
What is it?
Club Cool.
Oh.
To me, anything free, Bruce is all into. I really for a while there, it wasn't open, but now it's back. And it doesn't matter how many times you've been to Club Cool, just a refreshing drink. Listen, if you're into certain flavors, I'm not going to name any names to surprise those that haven't tried the one yet, but all of them are really delicious. Watermelon flavors or cherry flavors, super good. And again, it's free, so it's fun.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why it didn't make my list, because I thought about putting it on there, and I saw it on your list, and I was thinking about this, and I was thinking to myself, Bruce, why didn't this make it on your list?
Yeah.
And I realized why.
What's that?
I don't like the way they redid it.
You don't like the newer building?
I do not. I do not like the setup of where the drinks are located and how you get them compared to what it was before. I felt like before you could have your own little area where you and your family could go and try all the drinks and like see each other's reaction.
Like congregate together.
Yeah, it was almost like around a corner. So like you had your own areas. This, I feel like it's all in a line.
Well, you don't feel like it is all in a line.
It's all in a line. And I feel rushed.
Okay.
So I feel like as I go get my drink, there's somebody behind me waiting for me to get out of the way.
Gotcha.
And it just doesn't have that same experience for me.
Even though it's not, it's like an in and out type place. Like people don't necessarily, even before, like you don't linger there too long. I mean, you have how many cups of soda can you really have before it's like enough's enough? So
to me, it has reminiscence of, so in my business, right? Like where I come from, there was always technology, and we always used to make fun of the people who made the technology. Like the people who made your point of sale system never worked in a restaurant. So they never really knew what it should look like. I feel like the people who made the new Club Cool were never in the old Club Cool.
They never knew what worked back then.
They never were like, you know what? This was fun. This was a great part of it. Let's make it similar to that. They just said, we have this tiny space. We need to make it fit.
Yeah.
They didn't actually participate in it.
I'm never going to be able to experience that again now. I'm going to think about that every time we go. Moving on. Did you express this at our last visit to me?
No, I was too busy getting pushed out of the way by people.
You weren't, though. There was plenty of times where none of the soda stations were filled with people, but I think you just had it in the back of your mind like you had to be in and out because it was...
It's like a line. It's like a line of people to go. And I probably did it on purpose so people don't linger like I want to.
Well, everybody's on display. I think that was more the issue for you than anything else. Like people can see you getting your soda.
Or they judge you. Like you could go in the back before and be like, you know what? I like Beverly. Don't judge me.
It's fine.
Now people are like, did you see that guy over there? He likes Beverly.
Did you know that Coca-Cola and Walt Disney Company, they've had a long-standing partnership way back from the opening of Disneyland. But did you know that the first iteration of Club Cool was actually called Ice Station Cool back when it debuted in 1998?
No, I didn't.
Ice Station Cool.
It's not a great name.
I like Club Cool.
It's Ice Station Cool.
Yeah.
Is that a radio station?
Yeah, maybe.
It's our new. It's like what we're gonna call our show from now on.
Ice.
Here on 98.5 Ice Station Cool.
Okay, we're getting too goofy now.
That's right.
But that made it on my list because I like it. It's fun. To me, it's a sugary treat that is always welcome.
You know what it is? It's definitely a place you have to take someone who's never been before.
I don't know.
Because you have to have them experience the different drinks because you know what they kind of taste like.
I don't know. I still like going in there, even though I've been a bunch of times, and most often I'm not with anybody that hasn't been before.
I guess that's true. There's only one that you really remember what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Every time you go. You see that one and you know what it tastes like.
Oh, I don't.
You know what Beverly. You know Beverly is the one.
We're not supposed to say anything.
Oh, I just said it like 4 times.
I know.
Fine.
All right. Well,
try the Beverly.
I think we listed a lot more than 5 here, so I think we should probably stop.
I listed food, and I had 3 or 4 different items on my food list. So
I mean, Epcot, like I said earlier, this top 5, Epcot's going to turn into what's so great about Epcot, and we're going to literally list everything we love about Epcot because it's a park that has so many unique things to see and do. I love that you don't need a passport. I actually made like a funny meme where I thought was funny about, someone
traveling the world.
Yeah, Epcot. I mean, that's how I feel it is. And to me, it's special. And I love that the kids love it. I love that I found love even when they were little. To me, when they were too little to do stuff, sometimes it was just a fun park to just relax. And like they were in their stroller and they really liked the atmosphere and it was fun. But now as they're getting older, they really do immerse themselves in each country. They could try to get to know or try to pick out like one food item that they may not have thought about trying before. So to me, that's what makes it really fun.
Wait, you're not supposed to try every food item every trip?
I mean, you can, but I mean, how big is your wallet?
That's true. I usually do the old, what's that over there? Kind of take off on the kids.
Yeah, that's right. True.
You're right. It is
a wallet.
It is a little expensive for 5 people to try everything.
I think that's the only negative about Epcot. It's like, all right, so you go in and it's almost like 2 parks in one, but you actually pay for that because
the
you get in.
The second park is the food, you pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
But I love it. I love Norway is one of my favorite. Morocco, everybody knows I've talked about Morocco a lot. Mexico, one of my favorite places. I wanted to dislike so bad. I'm sorry, you guys. Only because I loved Maelstrom. That was my, I think, first experience in Epcot where it's like it was such a surprise too. Like we didn't know back then that there was actually a ride in that area, and so I really fell in love with Maelstrom. So when they switched it over to Frozen, I was really sad. Even though I love Frozen, I love the movie Frozen, I was still kind of like a little hurt because I don't like change. That being said, I love Frozen.
It is great.
I love Frozen Ever After. It's the only place I probably will say, like, I don't mind the idea of being cold. Maybe because we're not cold.
Yeah, because you go outside, you're warm again. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's why.
That's why.
That ride is really fun.
It's fake cold.
Yeah. So I love it.
Hey, before we wrap things up here, I do want to say we started this program where, you know, there's some imposters out there. And the best thing that you can do if you are a friend of the show is to share the show with other people, right? Like there's no cost to listening to the show. The only cost for you after listening this far of the episode, there's only one fee. You know what that fee is?
What's that?
Sharing it out with other people.
Okay.
You got to share it out. That's your one fee. That's the only thing we charge.
It's your homework. We just give you some homework.
We charge one thing. We charge a share. But if you go to unlockingthemagic.com/share, you can sign up to win when you share. That's so the more you share, the more chances you get to earn points, and you get to earn free UTM merch like hats or shirts, mugs, maybe a chance to come on the podcast with us if you share enough. You got to have a lot of people to share with, but it's up there. It's almost like the dining experience with me.
Yeah.
Your personal dining experience, character dining experience with me. So go to unlockingthemagic.com/share. Help us out. Submit your fee. Hit the share button.
That's right.
That'd be great. We would appreciate it.
It'd help us out a lot, for sure.
It would help us out a lot to get rid of those phonies out there.
Imposters.
If you know,
Some of them are not nice. They're not nice imposters.
If you
either.
know, you know. If you don't, email me. I'll fill you in.
It's fun to be. Listen.
I do say that, you know, don't worry about people copying you.
No.
Worry if they're not.
That's true, but
right? Because
but
if no one's copying you,
if
no one's copying you, maybe you're not doing that great a job.
Yeah,
you're not worth copying.
Yeah, right. True.
So
but
as much as we hate it, it is flattering.
Sure.
Again, unlockingthemagic.com/share. So to wrap up, my favorite things, top 5 Epcot was Guardians, which I think we agree on.
Always.
Food, which I think, again, we agree on.
I mean.
The Land Pavilion.
Yep.
Spaceship Earth is great. And then festivals minus food and wine.
That's what we agree on.
Food and wine should be retired.
Okay. And there's a couple of things on my list that I guess you didn't agree with, but I like how when we go to Epcot, you don't show that you don't necessarily agree with this. You kind of go with the flow, which makes me happy.
Which didn't I agree with you on?
You not so. You say caramel is not your favorite.
No, but there's other things I can get.
Me out. I wish I knew this before we got married.
I can get other things.
Club Cool, like who would ever thought?
If it's empty, I love it.
Okay.
If it's people in there, I don't.
Gotcha. I think that was it.
It depends.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's a lot more in Epcot that I love, but
those are the things. Like I think if you go to Epcot and you're on a time crunch,
you could have a good day doing these things.
These 5 things. Like if you did your 5 things and you left Epcot, even though you were only there for a couple hours, I feel like you'd be satisfied.
I think I would be.
Even though there's a lot of other things that you can do. It's like, all right, you know what? I enjoyed my time here.
Definitely.
So next time you go to Epcot, if you have a little bit of time, listen to this podcast and do these 5 things. I feel like you'll be happy.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go check out Unlocking the Magic Travel, Club UTM, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.